What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the after credits scene. We're talking predictions and forecasts for episode 3 of She-Hulk on Disney+. I've really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. The pacing has been really great, even though they're short episodes. The story has been moving forward really quickly. If you've watched any of the trailers, you'll know that's where I'm getting several of my predictions and things that are coming. But we're going to talk about where it's headed, and that's where we're going to get into some deeper, more let's say, out there predictions, stuff that's a little less straightforward because it's been in the trailers. So I think with the pacing of the show and the fact that we got a leaked video on the news of Abomination and Wong in Macau in that underground fight ring, I think we're going to get Wong in episode 3. He's going to have to show up to kind of move the story forward and also to help out Jennifer as she's trying to figure out what's going on and why Blonsky got out of prison and what's going on there. The introduction of that fight scene from Shang-Chi plants this series firmly after Shang-Chi, which means obviously it's after the blip. We already established that. But all of the other events going on there, there's things that have already happened. I'm of the mind that Wong is still possibly chasing down some of the Dweller in Darkness bats that came in Shang-Chi, only because that's the only thing I can figure are those little creatures that he's going after in some of the trailers. Don't know if that's going to happen in this episode, but I do know that Wong's going to show up. I'd be willing to bet he shows up in her office, talking to her about what he's doing and why he's doing what he's doing. And we're going to get a lot more storyline there. That's my 100%. We've seen it in the trailers, but I think it's coming in episode 3. Also, this new version of Blonsky that we saw, this inner peace dwelling Blonsky, the preview trailer that dropped on Twitter had a lot of shots of Blonsky being some kind of self-help guru, and Titania kind of popping in, similar to what she did in the courtroom in episode 1. But I think we're going to get to see that different version of this guy. I think we're going to get to see where he's headed and this new reformed version of him. I don't know what that means. We're going to get to some interesting little what-ifs over here. But I think we get 100% chance here we get a lot more of that guy because if nothing else, we got to go to trial. And I don't think the trial of Emil Blonsky is the only thing that happens in this show, given all the other things that have yet to appear. Having said that, I think this episode we get to the setup. There are 9 episodes in this series, but I think we get a little bit of a clearer picture as to where we're headed. How these other cameos fit in, how these other characters fit in, and not just from the procedural law standpoint of a comedy, where we're getting to see Jennifer take on these different cases. I think that gets kind of interwoven in between all these things, but I think there's some bigger story at play, and I think it obviously involves Blonsky to some degree, but definitely Wong, and we're going to get a lot more of that as Jennifer's world of law and being a Hulk start to collide in a way that she's going to have to grapple with. So, that's my big 3 predictions, given what we've seen in some of the trailers. I think that's the direction we're going, but I think there's a whole lot of fun stuff coming too. A lot of random cameos. There was this weird frogman character that was kind of teased. I think there's some others. Now I say randos. I don't mean to offend anybody that might love some of these different characters, but just not as mainstream, not as well known. They're going to get introduced in this show, and they may pop up again someplace else, but I'm betting it's just characters that kind of get thrown in there, and they're played as filler, comic relief, those kind of things. So anybody's guess as to who some of those other ones are, but I think there's some twists and turns and some surprises that they're definitely leaving out of the trailers, in addition to some of the other things that we're about to get to. Thunderbolts! Thunder. Very, very frightening. I'm about 90% certain that they're setting up the Thunderbolts here. I think Wong is going to be a big part of that as far as rehabilitating some of these guys, keeping an eye on them. I think Valentina has already recruited John Walker in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then we'll get Blonsky here. I don't think we might not get him in this series, but I think the rest of the Thunderbolts are going to start to assemble, given that movie has already been teased. We'll get U.S. Agent, we'll get Blonsky, possibly Yelena, Taskmaster, Baron Zemo, and we'll see who else they decide to throw in there with all these other characters. But there's a whole lot happening there, and Blonsky kind of makes this little tease in his jail cell saying that he has 7 pen pals, and he's been talking to him in prison. And so I think we're leading up towards the Thunderbolts, and it could be a very interesting take on Jen kind of being involved in their release or the terms of their release. I think it all kind of fits together, but I think there's a bigger story at play here and a lot of different setups for other shows and other things. But we're going to get a bigger, like I said, a bigger setup to what this exact show is about, in addition to all these little threads that are going to come together. I said it last time, I'm going to keep adding this because it's been a big deal. The website that was shown on Jen's computer as she's job hunting in episode 2, all kinds of Easter eggs. It teased Wolverine. It teased some Iron Man tennis shoes, which I would love to get my hands on. It teased a whole bunch of different things, including a reference to the giant celestial that has popped out of the ocean circa the Eternals movie. And so pay attention to these Easter eggs. They're a whole lot of fun, and they're giving little clues, and they're just fun. And this is a lot better series to throw them in and make them a little more obvious, in addition to the QR codes that have popped up all over the place that lead you to digital comics on Marvel's website. There is also a QR code that I have yet to be able to scan that is on Blonsky's chest on his prison uniform. So maybe you can check that one out. It might not be anything. It might be part of the Damage Control Supermax facility, but there was a QR code on his chest. So that brings me to my favorite part and what we're going to start doing from here on out, which is Daredevil Watch. I don't think Daredevil pops up in episode 3. At most, we get a cameo in the form of an after credit scene. I doubt it. I think there's going to be an after credit scene. If the first 2 episodes are any indication, there's going to be another one. They might be just goofy little things like the last one was, but they might have some meat to it or something interesting to them like the first one involving Captain America. So, but Daredevil's coming, and how does he fit in? And is his story connected or unconnected to the Netflix series? I think we're going to find out. There's a lot of really cool theories floating around out there. I'll let you Google that and search that for yourself. But it's anybody's guess. I think there's a lot of things that are coming here that are pretty nailed down, and I got those in the bag, I think. But there's some things over here that I think they're going to start laying the groundwork for, and I think you need to pay attention to. And I'm ready for my boy Daredevil. I love Daredevil. When he pops up in the show, these episodes are going to get a lot crazier because I'm going to go bonkers because I love me some Daredevil. That's all I've got. Tell me if you've got any other predictions, if you think these are right on, or if you think there's something else coming that I missed. As always, like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so when we drop new content, you'll be the first one to know about it. And check out some of our other content over here. We got a lot of stuff you can sink your teeth into. And until the next one drops, guys, we'll catch you right back here. Later.